You know how people talk about, oh, you need to re-parent yourself, or rather, let me say there's a common theme, but people mostly focus on things, minor things like, oh, mom, oh, you were denied a coloring book and now you're in a financial position to buy yourself a coloring book to heal your inner child. Great. Mom and dad maybe didn't come to a netball match, so I'm gonna make sure that I'm there for my kids, so that they don't go through what I went through. That for me is the least of your concern. Leave that. That is the last thing you should be worried about, right? Yes, it is a good thing to do, or those are good things because they are just minor examples. But what I need you to understand is that we'll take abandonment as an example in this situation. Let's say you grew up with a single mother and your dad abandoned you. Do you understand that when you grow up, the chances of you consistently attracting partners that abandon you is 99%, because the abandonment lives in your bloodstream, it lives in your aura, it lives everywhere. So besides that abandoning you, you abandon yourself, then it will be easy for you to pick up the abandoned patterns with your mom, because you're going to realize, oh, mom had to work, therefore she can't be there full time. And because she is the parent that is always there, it is easy to criticize her, right? We've got that out of the way. So you don't need to re-parent yourself. You need to re-raise yourself, because if you look up the definition of raising, it's bringing something to a higher level. So if it's abandonment, I started from ground up and I stretched all the way. So obviously, even if you reiterate in the mirror, or you tell yourself, or you tell your friends, oh, friend, I'm not going to be like my mom. I'm going to make sure that I'm married. It's not going to work. It started from the root. The abandonment started from the root and it was raised, it was stretched. That's all you know, that's all your system knows. So I hear therapy, but what about release, right? What about correcting your thoughts? Because once you identify as something and you identify as it for years, you will pick it up everywhere, but you will also, most importantly, even your subconscious will pick it up. Even in the minor things, your partner could look perfect, right? At an absolute surface level. But the abandonment is subtle because it runs deep. It's got nothing to do with the partner, it's all you. So you went to therapy, you validated yourself, and now you feel worthy. Does your body, does your mind, does your subconscious mind? No, they don't. So we need to do somatic exercises, somatic healing to let it go. And you cannot expect to just let go of something, though it doesn't have to take time to let go of something that you've known for years and years and years, that's imprinted in you, right? You need to show up for yourself differently. You need to think about yourself differently. Know thyself differently. And very importantly, you cannot identify as your mother. You cannot also look at your mother in judgment, because maybe a relationship is flourishing. Maybe a relationship of yours is flourishing, and you just like, yeah, you see, I knew I could do it better than my mom, because you're bringing in the traces of that previous relationship, or the previous self, or the hurt and the pain that your mother experienced into this new body. You remembering. You keep remembering. And if you keep remembering, the body, the subconscious mind, the nervous system will be like, oh, also, we're not going to let this go. Because you're giving the other entity, the old you, the old version of you, some energy. Right? So I need you to sit with this message. Okay? I need you to understand all the things that people talk about. Oh my gosh, the emotions of it. are very surface level. I need you to sit down and actually think about the pattern of abandonment, because the thing about the mind is once you identify as something and once you accept that thing as truth and your subconscious mind also accepts it as truth, it will show up in every aspect of your life, whether you like to admit it or not. So we need to retrain, we need to re-raise. Leave that coloring book, okay? I'm really happy for you about the coloring book, but leave the coloring book. The nuclear family is not under attack. Well, slightly is, but for the most part, it's not. It's in pain, it's in abandonment, it's showing up as our parents' nervous systems, right? Of course, things are not going to work out with this generation because we keep remembering pain. Because pain is all we know. Because our parents had suppressed pain. Our great grandparents had even more suppressed pain. Before that, there was apartheid. Before that, there was slavery. It goes back. So at some point, it's bound to go poof. It's bound to. I'm sorry, it really is. The nervous system is under attack. Our being is under attack, right? Because there's only so much pain they can carry. And that's the thing about pain. It's not always screaming at the top of its lungs. So I need you to rethink how you do things. You could be hurting yourself on a day-to-day basis with the mundane. And I mean things like, oh, I'm so lazy to go to gym. I'm not going to do it. Ma'am, your grandmother was obese. Your great grandmother was obese. Your mom tried to fight a good fight. She's not that big. And you are busy fluctuating when it comes to weight. You big and you small, and you big and you small, and you don't want to go to gym because you feel lazy. It's not laziness. Yes, the emotion may be identified as, oh, I feel lazy. No, it's years of pain and suffering. All you know is abandonment. So obviously you're going to abandon yourself because showing up for gym, your nervous system will be like, what are you doing? All we know is abandonment. So I also have to abandon myself. That's why you're not going to the gym. It cannot be that you keep trying and trying year after year after year. Every January you have new body goals, and for 5 years you still haven't achieved them. No, ma'am. We need to look at it. And yes, it doesn't feel like pain. That's the thing about comfort. That's the thing about comfort. It doesn't feel like pain because you're not going to the gym. You're not feeling anything. Right? You're just like, no, I'm not going to do it. Oh, I don't have time. Those are excuses. This is the very same excuses your dad said. Not to you, maybe not to you directly. I don't feel like being a father. Oh, I'm so young. Right? And it may look far apart, but it's connected. Like I said, it shows up in every aspect in your life, in every area in your life. So you cannot be like, if everything in the universe is connected and nothing is apart, and you and I are one, you're definitely one with your dad. And I'm making this as an example. Okay? So we need to really think about our lives on a day to day. We need to think about the thoughts that we we think and find healing. But after that, after the healing, because there's only so much healing that you can do. You're not broken. And then you need to start a new life. Right? So if you need help, contact me. Let's talk about it for an hour. We're not gonna finish everything immediately, but ma'am, Sir, I need us to get our lives together. We say, oh, we're the generation that breaks generational curses. Huh? Yes, in hindsight, I hear what you're saying. I'm the first to but if you keep reiterating curse, 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 what do you think is happening to your subconscious mind? What do you think is happening to your nervous system? It's going to always look for curses to break. When do we just be? Oh, I bought a car. Yeah, I'm the first person in my family to buy a car. That's great. Oh no, I bought a car because, my grandmother didn't have a car. I'm breaking generational curses. My mom didn't have a. So we are so wounded to the point that I cannot admit a gift or I cannot celebrate myself without remembering pain. Why is that? So, therefore, how can joy fully stay? Because every time I come to you as joy, you need to accompany me as pain. If everything is energy, right? And I, as happiness, come to you, or I, as a gift, come to you, and you pay me with pain, I won't want to stay for long. And remember, all you know is pain. So, the pain will eventually overpower the joy. That's why you tend to find people, and I'm not saying that is the full cause, but hear me well. Look at your life. You know, we are adults here, and this is a safe space, and we're not going to be rude or anything like that. But you tend to find that a person buys a car, they're in an accident, buys a second car, it gets written off. There is something there. There is something there. And remember, if you've identified as someone, and that's because of upbringing, that's because of environment, as someone who's in pain, or that's all you know, that's your POV, right? For years and years and years and years. Obviously, when something good comes, pain is going to be like, wait, what do you mean? I don't know you. I don't recognize you. And that's your nervous system speaking because what do you mean, ma'am? So I'm going to get you in a car accident because I want you to be in pain and not because it's trying to sabotage you, but that's all it knows. Okay? Right? That's why you tend to find people self sabotaging their dreams. I need you to let that go. Careful how you go about therapy. Retelling that story. I need you to retell stories for release. And once I release it, I need to let it go. And once I let it go, I need to let it go fully. In my previous video, I haven't talked specifically to the parents. Parents will be like, yeah, I'm not gonna, smack my child because my parent. No, no, stop it. Stop identifying with the old you. And if you keep wanting to go back there, there's something there that you need to deal with because now every time you do that, your nervous system is like, oh, this is who we are. This is who we are. And what are you going to teach your kids? To be in pain. They will then look at their grandparents differently because pain runs in the family. I don't want to do that, because my mom did this to me. No, I don't want to hit my kids full stop. That's it. Right? We need to go back to God's self, guys. We need to go back to Christ consciousness. What does it say in the Bible? I said this in my previous video. The Lord reiterates in many Bible verses. I'm paraphrasing, but for the most part, I think I got it. I'm the great I am. Without substitution, ladies and gentlemen, I am what I say that I am. So if I say I'm a good parent because I don't do my mom. Are you a good parent or not? Remember, the second part of it is the latter is going to overpower because for the most part that's how you were raised. That's the pain that you know. That's what this nervous system identifies as. That those are the negative thoughts that are in your consciousness. So they will try and dent any good thing. saying. So it's not that life doesn't want to be doesn't want you to be happy. It's not that God is against you. No, we just need to change your programming. That's all we need to do, right? You could have a a weird relationship with food and not even know it, right? You could use food as a source of happiness, right? Or you could eat because of scarcity, right? And by all means, yes, there are medical reasons for certain things, and I am well aware. But for the most part, here, when it comes to energy, I need you to ask yourself, what are my thoughts? What happened? Right? In order to release. Here we release, and then you know how they say energy cannot be created nor destroyed. After we release, we cannot have an empty space. We need to replace that with something else. And we need to choose it again and again and again and again, right? Until this new programming sets into our mind. Okay? So it could be, for example, I have a friend, her she she doesn't like a 9 to 5, right? That's because her mom worked a 9 to 5 for so many years, right? In order, which is a good thing, not a bad thing, for so many years, in order to help, obviously, in order to raise her kids. But her mom was always tired, so every time she tried to work a 9 to 5, she was tired. She is exhausted. At 8 a.m., she is exhausted. She had gotten enough hours of sleep. Listen, but she is exhausted at 8 a.m. Why? Because her nervous system is just like, ma'am, you've seen your mom. You know how this ends. It's already prepping you. You know how this ends, right? So, you know how they say we see the world as we are, not how it truly is, our POV. That's why we need to change this POV, change the lens so that life can change. Okay? So sit down, look at your day to day, your mundane. When successful people talked about success is in the everyday, they did not lie. There's a reason why you can't be part of the 5 a.m. club. Not because you can't, but we just need to retrace our steps, substitute energy, and then move forward. And even that, don't make it about healing, because Black people are attached to, yes, and I understand that there is a painful history there, but if we keep saying that, are we going to get to a place where we are as a nation are healed? Where we fully happy? If for everything I have a car, for every if sorry, excuse me, if for everything I'm going to keep saying, oh yeah, I got a car, but like it is so difficult. And, oh, I got a husband, but it was so difficult, and I had to. Uh, is everything going to be difficult? Is God slash the universe against us, or are we against ourselves? Think about that. Change your routine, okay? Take a different route to work. Change the way you pray, change the way you think about yourself. I mean, to the littlest of things, right? Say, I did that. It was me. Fantastic. And yes, what's going to happen is that you're going to remember that voice when your mother or your father or whoever in the community said, oh, you're not good enough. That's it right there. That's where we realize, okay, this is where we need to do some healing, replace that energy, and then move forward, because that could have really affected you. You tend to doubt yourself. Doubt paralyzes you, you see. So, thank you for listening. Let's get it together.